what's up guys, it's Shining Polaris. Another Wednesday had passed and another late video for me because I just came home from work. So anyway, I'm just going to keep saying that. But anyhow, we're just going to run down through the episodes and some of my thoughts and whatever that just happened. So this was Dynamite that took place in Houston, and it started off with a pretty big match. This was Sting and Darby Allin versus the team of 2.0. So this is the first time Sting had wrestled on TNT. For first time in 20 years or so, and 2.0, I believe they have been officially signed to AEW. So I think that's cool. There's a lot of people that are like, I don't like that team, or I don't know who they are, and why did they sign them? Well, again, you know, you gotta have some like mid-card to lower card talent, and you know, these people are probably gonna be on Dark a lot and doing like funny stuff and lose all the time. So you know, until they make their way to the top, so they're not gonna be pushed to the moon like, you know, like some people here. So anyway, I think they're fine. So so you got that match first. You know, Darby Allin doing some crazy stuff like he's always do. What is it? Jumping, walking on the ramp or whatever. You had Sting going through a table, which is extremely impressive because he's like in his 60s. But at the end you had Sting put both 2.0 guys into the Scorpion Deathlock, which was actually pretty funny, and they won. So that was really cool. I was hoping that maybe after this, Darby would like have a little promo or something about maybe what's going to happen on Friday, but no, he didn't. So anyhow, so right after that you had Sammy Guevara versus Shawn Spears, and they said that Sammy was had like an announcement or something, and I had no idea. I didn't really pay too much attention, so I didn't read all the speculation of what they thought the announcement was. I saw some people saying maybe he announced his match on All Out, which I figured that would probably be it. But no, what he did was that he proposed to his longtime girlfriend, so that was very sweet. So congratulations to Sammy and his girlfriend, so now they are engaged. So right after that, you had Tully and Shawn Spears, you know, just saying some funny stuff. It was a funny and bad taste promo towards the fiance. But anyhow, so the match started with both of them. Yeah, really good match. I mean, I was not sure like in a second like who could win this, because I feel like Sammy won a lot and Shawn Spears never win, and I feel like Pinnacle have been losing a lot. So I'm like, maybe Shawn Spears will win this, but he did. Spears kicked out of like a lot of Sammy's offense, so that's why for a second I thought maybe he had a chance of winning. But yeah, at the end you had they like set up like a table or a guardrail or something on the outside, so that's when Sammy he hit Spears with the GTS right onto that guardrail thing, and then I'm not sure, I think he may have done a move after that, but Sammy got the win over Spears, and somehow he was really bloody, like on his legs or something. So I just thought that was odd. I couldn't see where that accident came from, but he was all bloody, and then afterwards he went to his fiance and you know, hugged and kissed her, and I was like, he's like bleeding, like you know, probably from touching Oliver. He was blood in his face. Anyhow, I just thought that was interesting. And then after that, you had a little, to my opinion, funny segment between Christian Cage and Don Callis. And you already know I love the Elite, so I think Don Callis is such a GOAT, because every time he talks, it's just hilarious. So he's talking to Christian Cage, basically like you know, insulting him in his. It's insulting and like complimenting him at the same time, and you know, his weird style, and you just see Christian just like super pissed, but he has the 2 belts, so he's just, I don't know, it just looked like a funny image to me. But yeah, like, and then at the end of that segment, you know, Christian Cage was like, yeah, Don, you think you're in my head, but actually I'm in Kenny Omega's head, and you know, basically saying it all out. He's gonna beat Kenny to get the prize that he loves most, which is AEW title. And then he just basically called Don a carny piece of shit. So that was funny. And then you had Tony Schiavone in the background, like pretend laughing, which was all added to that too. So, let's see. Oh yeah, and then right after this was one of the segments I was looking forward to. And even though I tweeted about it early this morning, there were some people saying maybe it wasn't going to happen because they hadn't advertised it at all, which is true. I even looked at the tweets earlier. I did not see anything about this. And they should have said something, because I would think it would be kind of a big deal. But Dan Lambert, who's what is it? He has this like gym or whatever for his like MMA fighters. So during Fight for the Fallen, I think he basically was like jokingly making fun of the AEW crowd, and then Lance Archer came to attack him. So we're like continuing that storyline, I guess. So he comes into the ring, still making fun of the AEW crowd, but he has his two UFC fighters behind him. And then so this is what I was hoping to happen. No, I'm not so sure. So whoever Dan Lambert was going to introduce as his backup, I was thinking, okay, it's going to be this guy versus Lance Archer for the All Out pay-per-view, which would be cool, because you have, again, like, especially with all this crossover stuff, to cross over to like UFC or MMA, whatever. I think that would be kind of cool, just to have new eyes on the product, whatever. But as Lambert was like talking, introducing his guys, Lance Archer comes in to try to like attack him, of course. And then who comes out? It was the friggin' Men of the Year, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. So they started attacking him, and then you hear the commentators were like, "Wait, is this a setup? Is this Dan Lambert got these two guys?" I really hope this is not the direction we're going to, because that was very underwhelming in my opinion. I would have rather seen Lance Archer try to attack those one of the two MMA fighters there instead of Men of the Year. So I don't know if we're going to continue with that, and it's going to be Lance Archer versus one of those guys for the pay-per-view. Not really about that, but we'll see. So that was kind of disappointing, because I was really hoping we will just, take the MMA guys. Also, just want to say that there was, for a second, people thought it was Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar, and I'm like, no, I don't. Those two guys, I'm very sure, are going back to WWE. So I didn't think so. But it was funny to speculate that. All right, and then then the next thing was, of course, the match I was looking forward to the most. This was for the Tag Team Championship. This was Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express, and Jurassic Express is number 1 ranked. Anywho, you had Young Bucks come out with their whole entire entourage except for Kenny Omega. And Young Bucks, they just look so silly. They had their new matching outfits with Brandon Cutler. He was also matching with them. So, it was great. Them dancing around, doing that. Love it. Mwah. Anyway, so this match, once again, showcasing how great Jungle Boy is, because him and Luchasaurus are like so over in the crowd. And Jungle Boy he just does these amazing moves. So so Jurassic Express looks great. Obviously there was tons of shenanigans on the outside, because you have Don Callis on commentary, but you had Nakazawa, Cutler, and the Good Brothers on the outside trying to do their distraction or whatever. But every time Luchasaurus gets in the ring, he completely destroys the Young Bucks easily. There's a part, this was actually near the end, where he jumps from the top turnbuckle onto the rest of the Elite that was standing down there. So that was a pretty cool spot. After many near pinfalls, because you had a part where Kenny Omega jumps in and he tries to throw the Young Bucks a chair, just like what they did with him last week on Rampage, and that like almost backfired, because you had Jungle Boy, he had Matt Jackson, and he hit whatever, I can't remember what it was, but he hit a move with Matt Jackson onto the chair and pinned him really close. But then Nick Jackson comes to make the save, and that happened like 2 or 3 times where the Young Bucks came in to save the day, save them for the team in the last minute. But so when Kenny Omega came out and did all that, Christian Cage came out to because he's on the side of Jurassic Express, to try to stop all the shenanigans. So you had Christian Cage and Kenny Omega fighting on the outside, with Kenny Omega with his chick magnet shirt, you know, wink, wink. Anyway, so yeah, at the end, Young Bucks quickly hit their BTE trigger onto Jungle Boy and won the match. Then afterwards, all the Elite were in the ring just celebrating. They just looked super, super silly. They're doing like, everybody in there were holding their belts up. Like I said, they must have done like 4 or 5 squad photos, like perfect like wallpaper photos in the ring and on the ramp. So there you go. You had the Young Bucks Elite wins again. So yeah, shortly after that, I'm just gonna go straight to a little segment that they did. This was like towards the end of the show, where because Young Bucks, they had basically beaten every tag team in AEW, so they have no more challengers. So you had Tony Schiavone was basically like, okay, well, to figure out who you're gonna face at the pay-per-view, they're gonna do Eliminator style thing, and so it's gonna be Jurassic Express again, Varsity Blondes, Lucha Brothers, and oh, I forgot the other team. I cannot remember the other team that's in there, but yeah, so you're gonna have those teams. They will compete against each other. Whoever wins will face the Young Bucks at All Out for the titles in a steel cage, because they cheat all the time, so they have to have the cage to keep everybody out. So my prediction with that, it is going to be hands down Lucha Brothers, because that's what everybody wants to see, because Lucha Brothers are so talented, and they would look great against the Young Bucks. So that's probably who's going to win that. And related to that segment, so I'll just make one big prediction. Shortly after that as well, you had Lucha Brothers and Pac, so Death Triangle, and they were being interviewed, and basically, asking them like, well, what do they think about like, if the Lucha Brothers are in that tournament thing, I don't know what to call it, Eliminator thing, but you have Pac gonna face Andrade in a singles match at All Out, and then Andrade and Chavo came in and basically said to Lucha Brothers like, yeah, even if they won that and faced the Young Bucks, they're gonna lose because they're not on like the winning side. So with all that being said, they basically said right there that Lucha Brothers are gonna win it. I can't see how can they not, because the other teams in there, we've already seen them, and like I said, we just saw Jurassic Express, so they're not gonna win it. But yeah, I feel like this will eventually break up the Death Triangle, because I feel like Andrade is going to beat Pac, and then Young Bucks are going to beat Lucha Brothers, which makes Lucha Brothers are like, yeah, we want to win the gold, so we gotta team up with Andrade. So there you go. That's my quick prediction about that at All Out. And then the little thing about Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy. I don't know. I feel like, this is just my opinion, I feel like best friends have no direction right now, and so they're just thrown into whatever random thing it is. So right now it's, I guess, best friends against HFO. I'm not interested in that at all. But anyhow, we're gonna have Matt Hardy versus Orange Cassidy next week. So I'm just gonna say that. Oh yeah. So another big segment was they had the Big Show. Let me just say, Paul Wight came out into the ring with Tony Schiavone, because last week you had you have the factory attack Schiavone's son, and then with Paul Wight coming to save the day. So Paul Wight had a couple words to say about that, and then QT Marshall came out with the factory, and they started like insulting each other, which is actually pretty funny, and I'm not a fan of QT at all, so I'll say it was a funny segment, which led to Paul Wight saying to QT that at All Out, he's going to have his first match in AEW, and that will be against QT Marshall. So there you go. You have your other pay-per-view match, Paul Wight versus QT. So somehow QT, once again, trying to be pushed to the moon. We all don't like him. Get that jobber off my screen. So, but anyhow, but you're going to see Paul Wight in the ring. So that's fine. It's just that, really, like, can we stop putting a spotlight on QT Marshall? Anyway, I'm sure he's a very good coach and a very good admin guy. It's just that he's, to me, very boring on TV. Yeah, so, and then little thing about Team Taz. yeah, it's just again with Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Dealey, but then you had uh, Will Hobbs beating up Brian Cage in the back, and then Ricky Starks was like, "Come on, guys, let's go," and then that was the end of the segment. That was very weird. Yeah, I'm not sure where. I thought they were going to do something in the back, but that just ended right there. So, Team Taz pay-per-view match. Who is it going to be? They should have the debut of Hook. That's what I'm saying. Give that kid some pay-per-view time, main event. So, yeah. I mean, it was weird because Taz was like totally introducing his son. So I'm like, is he gonna have a match soon? Hopefully he will, because Hook, he's gonna be like, even though he's like super young, I think he's like 20 or 21. Future star right there. He already looks a spot. And then let's see. Then next is let's see, the women's match. You have Penelope Ford versus Thunder Rosa. I apologize, I didn't watch this too well, so I kind of like skipped over it. I mean, Thunder Rosa won, but the thing is, like, I feel almost bad for Penelope because she's very pretty, she has a look. I feel like she's gotten a lot better as a wrestler, but I'm not sure why, like, we're not pushing her harder. Because I still think her match with Hikaru Shida was one of the best women matches in AEW. So, and I don't know what happened to Kip Sabian. Is he coming back soon? I think he is, because I think I saw pictures like of them in backstage or whatever. But why don't he accompany her? He don't need to wrestle. But anyhow, again, sorry, I didn't really watch that match too well. And then before our main event, we had a Jon Moxley promo, because for Rampage it's going to be Moxley versus Daniel Garcia, and he had this really, really good promo, basically making fun of like every like top competitor. So he made fun of Kenny Omega, Adam Hangman Page, and Christian Cage, and then you know, said some words to Danny Garcia. So we're really pushing Garcia to the moon as well. So, you know, good for him. And they're going to have their match at United Center, especially, even if it's a squash match, you know, for Garcia to say, yeah, I was in, I think they said the main event, though we already know what the main event is on at Rampage on Friday. So then you have your main event. This was Chris Jericho versus MJF. And this was for the, you know, continuing the labors of Jericho. This time, when he faces MJF, he cannot use the Judas effect to beat him. So, yeah, very, very good match. There was MJF just being brutal the whole time. He was working on Chris Jericho's arm the whole time, and there was obviously some close near falls, but at the end, just go right to the end, you had MJF try to pull out his ring so he can punch Jericho in the face, but the ref saw that, and as she tried to like throw the ring out, Jericho had the bat, and he actually hit MJF with the bat. So you're like, oh man, you know, Jericho's going to win it because he used the bat. But MJF, he got Jericho into his Salt of the Earth submission, and a couple times, you know, rolled in and out of that, but MJF ended up getting the upper hand, and Chris Jericho actually tapped out. So MJF won that. So very, very shocking, because I was almost sure Jericho was going to win that. But I don't think this is completely over, because that's such a big match. I feel like what's going to happen is probably Jericho is going to challenge MJF one more time, and this will be at All Out, basically saying, you know, if I'm going to guess that if Jericho does challenge MJF again, but this time at All Out, he's going to say if he loses, he will leave AEW or leave for whatever time. So that's what I predict, because I don't think that's the end of that feud. Is too fast. So, and also, you know, you already know that Jericho wants to take a break to do his band thing. So that just all makes sense. All right, I think that is a quick rundown, and it's another 20-minute video as always. Just want to say I reached 5,000 followers on Twitter, so thank you guys so much. I am doing a giveaway, so check out my Twitter at Shining Polaris for that. I'm giving away Pro Wrestling Tees gift cards to 4 lucky winners So check out my Twitter and see how to enter that. Follow me on TikTok at Shining Polaris AEW for very cool clips of live shows I go to. And you already know I will be attending Rampage at United Center on Friday, so I can't wait. So, okay, I think that's all I'm going to say. I'm very, very tired. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. I'll probably do a very special video for Rampage, all right? Okay, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.